Well, I hope everyone is doing good. Today I'm going to answer some questions that people have been asking, and today we'll find out who wins the mystery prize. I was hoping, to go out in the bush, lit a fire, have a little boil up or whatnot, and answer a few questions, but the wife is away helping out a friend, and the kids is in school, so I can't really be going too far, and it's really busy. I've been doing some interviews and things like that as well, so I got a bit of free time, so I said I'll answer a few questions here now, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to answer them all in this video. So after this video, if you got more questions, and add them to this one, who knows? We might find another mystery prize. All right, the winner of the mystery prize from the comment that got the most likes on the questions and answers video on YouTube is Stews, Mstews, and I'll show the prize at the end of the video. And his question was, and this is the most liked question: Hi William, in the last few episodes we saw Timber and Dub building instruments and games and things to keep busy. They both struggled with the boredom. You on the other hand always seemed cozy in your shelter and didn't seem to have the same struggles. What do you do in there? How you entertain yourself when there were only 4 hours of daylight? That's a darn good question. Yeah, so let me think with this. Lots of times I would sharpen my axe and my knife and things like that, do the lot of things like that. I couldn't move around a whole lot. I spent quite a few nights there actually working on a funnel trap. You never seen that in the show, but I made like a nice kind of a, I don't know about that line, funnel. I used to work on it a little bit every night, and just, when I get bored, I get up and work at it a little bit and put aside. There was quite a few small, I got some of them small whitefish smacking, sticking water, just shocked them or whatever. But over in the pond, there's some whitefish used to come along the edge of the pond. And so I made like a little funnel trap and got down there. I didn't get many, but I got a few. I caught a few in them. And I actually, old Willie's piss pot. I made a little funnel trap out of he as well, just cutting around, turn the top around, and all I caught in that one was a small, looked like a small burbot, and so I just boiled them and eat them. Never even gutted them or anything. And I'm gonna go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here now. But somebody asked what was the worst food that I ate out there, and I'll bring this up too now because it kind of ties together. When I got those small whitefish, when I hit the water with the stick, they were kind of small, and I just boiled them, gut and all, and ate them like that, this kind. But the ones I got over there in the pond were a bit bigger. And when I boiled them a little bit, the first big one I took it, when I bit into them, I could tell the gut wasn't cooked. But I ate the damn stuff anyway, and that was gross. And so the next one I took it, I just got a knife or a stick or something, just hooked the gut out of them. But the guts weren't, they were a bit bigger, and the guts never cooked inside. And so after I squished it up in my mouth, I knew, but I took it down anyway. But and so sharpening the knives and that. Sometimes I made like little feather sticks. Like my shelter wasn't real long, but behind me had a lot of splits and stuff up there, and so I get a couple sticks to make up nice little feather sticks and just getting things ready just in case I had to use the stove there. I daydream quite a lot in there. At the end days, I just lie back because it's colder, so you. Lots of times, you're in your sleeping bag and you're unzipped so much, and then you get your zipper right down and get your hands out and work at stuff and things like that. But in the later game, sometimes, zipper right up to your throat, or sometimes you first get in your bag, just your mouth out, until the sleeping bag heated up. Or sometimes down with your fur hat on, you couldn't really, you couldn't do much. So I daydreamed about food a lot. If you only knew how many hours I just lied there thinking about sweet food. Chocolate cake, dream with rice pudding, butterscotch pie, baked apple tarts, and all things sweet. That's all I crave. Now, I'm not going to answer the rest now in any particular order, but what were the bike paddle? What were the similarities and differences between the land you were dropped off at and the big land where you live, work, and play? Well, at the first of it, it was a big difference because, in the Delta, like all the creeks, around the edge of the creeks and everything else, just all mud, clay, and muck. One wrong step, and you could go up to your knees in it or beyond. It was just like quicksand in places. Where I grew up on Williams Harbour Island, there's not just nothing but all hard rock granite. In the Delta, if you catch a fish, you got a job to find a place to lodge it down without getting in dirty. The water quality there was really bad. Like, back home here in Labrador, you know, I could drink water anywhere, got no worries about it, pretty much, you know, unless it's full of beavers or anything. But there, the water quality was really bad. But you know, after it got colder and froze and the snow came, it started to look a lot like home. It was different altogether. And then from after the snow came, that's all I used from then on was snow, melted snow for water, and so I was really happy with that. But then, yeah, no, and then it looked a lot like home, and then I was just hunting the same animals, grouse, rabbits, and beaver. So, yeah, so, but at the first of it, not so much, and as the winter progressed, it was more like home to me, and it showed on the show, really. I'll add as well, even in southern Labrador, you know, there's no pike there. You got to go so far north in Labrador before you get pike, and there's definitely no she-fish there in a canoe. So the fish species were different, but still, I used the same type of fishing techniques to get them. So I just thought I'd add that. Okay, MBeth999. Several of the other contestants had to go home and lost simply because they were unable to have a bowel movement while they were there. Was there anything special that you did or foraged to help that along? Why do you think they weren't able to go? Just lack of food or fat, perhaps? Perhaps not drinking enough water? You know, like when it comes to water, I drink a lot of water. I was always well hydrated. I don't know, like, I can't speak for no one else, but that could have played a part. I know there was beer berries there, and I wouldn't eat too many of them, because actually bears eat them before they hibernate. They want to plug up. So, you know, if someone was eating too many of them, it could have made a difference. Later on, especially in the game, I used to try, like, eat meat and then 3 or 4 days of fish. Eat meat, 3 or 4 days of fish. I didn't want to go eat meat, or whatever. I also ate a very, very wide selection of food. I'm eating a lot of raw stuff. I was also like spruce tea, juniper berries, more than that, birch fungi tea. I ate a little bit of caribou moss, birch bark, like, and I was eating different stuff, but not too much, like, but I was adding little different things to my diet all the time. That may have helped. But yeah, fats was the main thing, I guess, but like, that's why I try to eat more, there's more oils, sorry. More oils in fish and that, so that's why I try to, you know, and I ate a lot of berries earlier on. I don't know if like too many wouldn't be good for you, but I've always had, like, added a few to my diet all the time. I just try to have a wide diet, get like a little bit of more nutrients coming into my body. That may have played a part. I can't really speak for anyone else, especially too, because, like, you know, they don't show everything on the show, so you don't really know what they ate or done for sure. So if you say anything, it's just all speculation. And so now, Starbecca321. Congratulations, William. You made Newfoundland and Labrador so proud. I'm dying to know how many days you think you could have made it, and how much food you had stored in your ice box at the end. Well, even though I had the ice box there, I still had a little bit of food in another cache. I still never had all my eggs in the ice box basket, okay? Because an otter could have came along, or wolves, or whatever. And I'll just throw in another bit of info here. I actually used to leave my axe on top of the ice chest sometimes, because I figured that could keep the wolves away. They might think it's a trap. And so, between the two caches, I only had 2 at the time, what I had in the ice chest and elsewhere, I had enough for 10 days. 8 really large, eating good for 8 days, and then a little less on the next 2 days. But then my net was going to go back in the water the next morning. I had to do some repairs on my net, and I had it done, and the plan was for the net to go back in the water again the next morning. I was actually going to go a little further out the creek, get in some deeper water that was out there. I got to oh yeah, and how long can you last for? Gosh. I'm really confident I would have got to 105. But after that, then it would have kind of went day by day, or when I got to 105, beyond that would depend on what happened in between at that day 84 to 105. Last 10 days there, I actually put on a little bit of weight, because I increased my consumption of food, and then for the next 10 days, I was the same thing. So I probably would have stayed the same or gained a little bit again for the following 10 days. But we're getting really colder now, and firewood was going to play a major part too, because I had enough firewood there for about another 3 weeks or so, like 2 or 3 more really great big old dry sticks there that I could have knocked down. I got a week or so out of each of those. But when that was gone, I would have had to start working harder to get good firewood. And as time went on, probably the more firewood I would need, because probably light the fire, even though light the fire a little earlier and keep by the heat there a little longer before you go into tilt, But I knew I could get to 105. I'm pretty certain of that. And but anything can happen any day out there. But actually, that was a little bit of a concern for me, because I was at 84 and I could look at the tunnel and see 105. But then, I couldn't really say how far I could go beyond that. And then I was thinking, still may not be enough, because you've got no idea what anyone else is doing, right? So it's all in your own head. And so I was starting to see the end of the tunnel. But when I come up to the end of the tunnel, I didn't know if that was going to be enough or not. And so that was actually starting to worry me a little bit, because I knew in 3 weeks the fire was going to get low, and then it'd be more snow down, colder, and everything else. After that, what's going to happen? But like I said, I can't project beyond that, because I don't know what would have happened between that point to 105. But I hope that answers your question. Midnight MB 506. Did you come up with the snare on a stick yourself over years, or is that knowledge you had passed on from elders? All your other techniques look like good old-fashioned bushcraft, done perfectly and on a very high level. Thank you. But that snare on a stick is just something I've never seen before, and it looks super efficient in your hands. Good job this season, and congratulations, a well-earned victory. Snare on a stick really is an old indigenous hunting technique, but I guess was handed down and is commonly used here in Labrador. I guess when I was a little kid, seeing my father do it first, was the first time I ever seen it done, and I've been doing it a long time. I probably, people say it makes it look easy, and it's not as easy as it looks. Just saying, you always got to be looking at the grouse, and you can tell, if he's getting a little bit if he's wild or not or whatever. But it takes a lot of. You'll learn it over time, but it will take a bit of time to learn how to do it really efficient. I measured my snare stick here the other day. It was 10 foot 8 inches, but longer the better, of course. But unless it gets heavy or whatever. And you don't want your snare on the end of the stick too small. A little bigger, not too big that ignomos go through them, but the size of your snare will make it easier. Too small, and it'll just make it a little harder for you, because the part which tries to dodge the snare, All right, at CAITB.529. Hi, William. During the show, you showed a beyond remarkable amount of resilience and mental fortitude. No matter what happened, you always seem to remain calm and unaffected. What advice do you have for those of us who struggle to stay positive and calm in the face of adversity? Well, I think I was pretty you're on the land. I hope I wouldn't sometimes you can go in with something with overconfidence, but I was really confident in my abilities, and so that gave me peace of mind as well. Because I run out of food, I was pretty confident I was going to get more. Because I do have a hell of a lot of experience hunting and fishing, and so I think some of that just comes from the extraordinary amount of confidence I had for this area. I've been a fisherman all my life, and there's no 2 days alike you're on the water, and there's stuff happening all the time. At the end of it, you get numb to it, you just deal with whatever comes along. I kind of think that may have a little bit to do with it as well. Just the experience of having stuff happen all the time. I mean, through the years, you see some crazy stuff out on the water, and so I think that may have a little bit to do with it. It just changes your mindset or something. Nothing rattles you anymore. Yeah, there's a funny thing about it, because I was really surprised. When I went out there, I thought I'd be a little bit nervous. First time ever in grizzly country. Slept like a baby every night. Never bothered me not one bit. And I was kind of worried. I was thinking I should be, or I'd be even better off if I was a little tiny bit nervous, but no, I wouldn't. I don't know, it was just hopefully it wouldn't overconfidence, but I was really confident in just what I was doing. I That's about as good as I can answer that, really. I'll dwell on it, and if something else comes up, I'll add to it. All right, there's no way for me to pronounce this one. At SAMBOJINBOJIN dash SAM6550. As a question, are there any items that you wished you brought along and would have you been happy to leave behind for that item? Congrats too. No, I'm completely satisfied with everything I took. There was only one thing, as I showed before. I took the 500 silky saw. I would have took the 650. Only thing, I couldn't get the 650. They were all sold out. So that saw would just enable me to get a little extra reach. Sorry, I got a dry cough. But yeah, no, I was completely satisfied with what I took. Thank you. At NH Mountains 5683, what was the first thing you wanted to eat when you got home? Chocolate cake and dream whip. Yeah, and I also cooked up some of that cooney I brought back a bit because I wanted the family to try it. And, a little special, some of the stuff that I caught out there. And then, as part of our culture is sharing. So I wanted them to have some of the catch that I caught. So, but for me now, after that, I don't think I ate fish for a while. After that, I was tired of fish. Yeah. And so I was mostly into, even wild game. I was more into the farm stuff when I got back for a little while, a little bit of chicken, and a little bit of steak and stuff like that. Fish and wild game was just, no. Except for caribou. We had some caribou. Someone gave us some caribou. That was absolutely delicious. But yeah, no, I was just tired of fish and wild game for a while. I just wanted something different. At Ace8921. Hey, William, my question to you is, did you enjoy it? I honestly enjoyed every day out there. That I guarantee it. Without thinking about winning in the moment, was it something you would look back fondly on? Oh, of course. Yeah, especially in the fall, when all the birds were flying south, the geese, cranes, and swans, and some, a lot of birds we don't even have here. I was just amazed, and I felt blessed to be seeing them every day. And no, I just, I wanted to go out there and have fun. Whatever happened, I just wanted to enjoy it and have fun, and that's what I did. How close in your mind were you to tapping out? It never ever crossed my mind. I was just going to go until they said, William, bye. We're going to have to pull you. And I would have been okay with that. But the tapping never ever crossed my mind. You certainly look pretty comfortable out there. Me and my family have been watching you for the past few weeks. You looked very strong out there and are a huge inspiration to me as a young man. Congratulations, man. You deserve it. Thank you. At Stephen Latimer Woody, everyone seems to be rooting for Sassy on the interwebs. Do you think maybe to share some of your catch with him, her, at some point in honor and recognition of your Fermemi relationship? Yeah, when we finished up, I had some cooney and pike left. I took the cooney home, and the pike was left there, 2 large chunks. And I'm pretty sure Sassy got to. I can't see why she never. And actually, they never showed there, but kind of towards the end there once I was eating some rabbit and stuff, and I actually put the GoPro and I put a rabbit foot and bit of little stuff there in front of the camera, so to get her coming in and actually take it, and then she'd go about 20 feet from me, and she'd be over there eating it, And so I got pleasure just glancing at her every once in a while, and I would just snuggle down by my fire, eating and looking over at her and stuff, and yeah, it was kind of like a pet, really. So, yeah, no, and yeah, I hope she done well. I know she found that pike. She had to have. I can't see why she wouldn't have. So I was happy with that, knowing that there was a bit of food left there for her. At Daryl Wells, different stuff. Actually, Daryl sent me a gift to me before he even knew I was on the show. And I unboxed it here and got down video. So I'll add it to a video sometime later. A few little different things he sent and stuff. And I'm going to get a little gift back to him later on. And his question was, and he's a YouTuber on Newfoundland Island there. What was your most difficult challenge during you stay there? The only time I really got concerned was when I lost my beaver meat. And only because, well, the beaver meat, it wasn't real big beaver, so I did lose a nice bit, but it was the fattiest meat I had. But what really concerned me is at that moment I lost it, I was completely out of food then, and the creek was just freezing up. I didn't know if the ice was thick enough to get on the creek to ice fish. I might have had to wait 2 or 3, 4 days before I could get on the ice fish. lucky enough the ice was taking off, and so that solved me, like, really, like, without having to fast, because at that point the rabbits were caught up there pretty good, wouldn't see no fresh sign, and after having a lot of the grouse caught up there as well. I did catch more after rabbits and grouse, but still at that moment there wasn't much sign around, and like I said, the ice was questionable if I could get on it or not, and lucky enough I got on it, and lucky enough actually the grouse flew in. Remember, I was there getting ready to put the ice ladder out, and the grouse come in, and like, I was like, kind of like, where in the freak they coming from? But yeah, I felt blessed at that moment. But yeah, losing that beaver meat was really concerned just because of those reasons, right? This one is from @Drew20238. So happy and proud of you. As a fellow Canadian, you made us all proud. My question is, how shocked were you when your wife came up behind you? I thought you were going to have a heart attack or stroke, or at least I would. Yeah, they got me good. She got me good. Because at that time, at that moment, I kind of felt like everything was winding down, and I figured they were soon going to clue up and leave in the chopper again, and so then, you know, I had to go through the next 10-day cycle. That's what I was doing, 10-day cycle. So my net was going to go back in the water again. I had enough food for 10 days. Net was going back in the water again. And even in my mind, I was thinking, well, if you leave quick enough, you know, because days are really short. If you leave quick enough, I might get that net in the evening. And so I was kind of, even though I was talking, answering questions, that was in my mind too. And so when she touched me, and I looked like, I think I kind of got lightheaded by it. I almost like took a while for it to come around and kind of come to my senses, and you can see I kind of misspoke there a couple of times, and yeah, so it was a complete shock. Yeah, and I loved it. I'm glad it happened that way. I don't think, you know, if I'd have, I'm usually pretty well aware of my surroundings. Like, there's a little bit of noise here or something, you know, but no, I never heard a thing. Maybe just because, you know, your body and your mind is wore down at that point or whatever. And then I was answering the question, I was kind of laughing, you know, and talking with the little fella and stuff. But took me by complete surprise, and I'm glad because the show was real nice in the video, and I think yeah, a lot of people getting a lot of responses. I think there was a lot of tears shed over that ending, and yeah, my eyes might even water up a little tiny bit, but you never heard that here. All right, this one is hey, another fellow Newfoundlander and Labradorian, Andrew Masu Doors. You got a channel around the Newfoundland Island. How did it feel winning the show? Absolutely awesome. Woohoo. Well, you know, people often refer to this as the Olympics in the bushcraft survival world, so I feel like an Olympian. Yeah, you know, this is, I love, you know, I feels good, and I love to go back for, you know what, but, you know, so we'll see where that goes. That kind of stuff, the more you tag with, the less chance it will happen, so I'm not saying anything else on it. You know what I'm talking about. @DavidHatcher1796, will you have access to unedited video that you recorded? That would be awesome content for future videos you upload. I certainly wish, but I don't know about anything about that. Yeah, oh, that would be great, no doubt about it. Ronald Peterson 255. Do you wish you have brought a bow with arrows instead of another item? And if yes, which item would you have sacrificed? This season of Alone is the more dramatic for me than the other seasons because of your participation. Read more. Wishing the best for you and the high seas. Come fishing and 100% understand why you can't do weekly commentary vids. Thank you. No, I was satisfied with all my items. You know, I mean, how can I not be? Really, right? Tazdirt, what were your boots, William? Do you think it is as you live with seals, you never complain about your feet until the end? I am proud of you, but fear for you. Look, they heart attacked you at the end when your wife snuck up on you. From old Tazdirt, less PS, you earn one piece only of chocolate cake. I'll tell you, that little piece of chocolate cake with Dreamwood was absolutely delicious. Yeah, no, I went with mock boots just because I knew there was going to be like a lot of clay and mud and stuff and be sinking down with it, and I knew I was going to be spending a lot of time in that creek early on, like with the net and stuff and fishing and things, and I knew we weren't going to go real far into the season. Winter did set in a little quicker than anticipated, but like I knew like we weren't going to go like 150 days or anything like that, because, you know, truth is, I knew like if you can get close to 100 days, you had a good shot of winning this, and so I took the gear kind of like aiming for 100 days. If I had to go thinking about going further, deeper into winter, I might have took a different pair. But no, and the ones I took were I'm not sure if these rated for 100, minus 30 or minus 40. I'm not really sure now. But they served me well. I was happy with the choice. I used to dry them out by the fire often, out by my lean-to and stuff like that. And so, dry boots and dry socks is really important. But if I had to do it again, for that area, I take the same boots just because I spend a lot of time, and sometimes they'd be right up to the, oh man, close to going over, sinking down and all stuff. But anyway, yeah. Tina Blackwood, what was the scariest thing you encountered? Probably, once when I caught a medium-sized pike, there were some really fresh grizzly tracks there. So after I caught the pike, I just left that area. With the scent of the fish going through the air and stuff. I don't think it would have been you might be pushing your luck to stay there too long. At Bob Dole, 7281. What are some things the show didn't air that you wish they had or that you were proud of? I had my knit damaged severely 3 different times, and I had to do a nice bit of repair, especially at the end of it. I'm surprised. I'm not really disappointed. I'm just surprised he never showed none of that, but I was okay. Like the way I looked at it, I said, let the editors or the producers do what they want. They're the masters at this. Let the masters do their thing. One thing I found, and if you go back and you got to listen to what people say, but whatever they say really do have an important meaning later on. Like, this is just one of many, but I know earlier on he said, you heard me say, every calorie counts. And, and later on, I was eating everything and getting every calorie, you're only going to catch so much food, and so you want to get every bit you can from that bit of food, and that's the way it was portrayed later on. But early in the show, they said that every calorie counts, right? And I seen that multiple times what people said, and then so you really got to pay attention. They're masters; they know what they're doing. All right, this one is at Harvey McKenzie 8328. William, while you were on alone, why did you store your food so far from your campsite? This was my first time in grizzly country, and I took bear safety very serious. As I said on the podcast, we were instructed to not bring food back to our shelter, and I know when it got colder and everything else, there was less chance of a bear coming around. Some of the other guys brought food back to the shelter, but I still never. My shelter is really small. If I brought fish in that back to my shelter, I'd probably have been smelling like a fish, and then I'd be walking through the woods smelling like a fish. Now, that never made no. I wouldn't have regardless. So that never made no difference to me. What other people done, or what we were allowed to do after or anything. I still wouldn't have done it just because it's small shelter, and there was still even a chance of grizzlies that late into the season, really, because there are stories of grizzly bears coming out even around Christmas in Inuvik, getting around dogs and stuff. So there's always risk there a little bit. So I took that very serious. Okay, this one is at ALINEHALISCHAK 536. Can you tell us the skills you use from Inuit culture to help you win? A couple that really sticks out is food, really. I barely cook my food. Eskimo eaters, raw flesh. You get more nutrients, you don't lose as much. If you cook your food, the longer you cook it, the more nutrients you lose. So I barely cook my food, and some I eat raw, especially liver and spine and things like that. And so you get more from the food. And as well, I spent a few. Well, actually, this is kind of a good one because I did spend a few nights in igloo before, and so I knew then, because me and William, my little boy, well, he was probably 10 at the time or something. We had a night in igloo, minus 39 with the wind chill outside, no heat source. I had a night in igloo with my daughter, same thing. I had a night in igloo with my wife. So, but that was kind of the big unknown for me, and that's the only reason I put a fireplace in my shelter, because anyone knows that spend nights in igloo know that if there's more than one person there, you're going to share a bit of body heat. And we had a really nice warm caribou skin in the igloo. But now in my tilt, I had I had a lot of boughs down to protect me from the cold from the ground, and early in the season, like before the snow come, I kept adding to it because he settled and added to it, and there was like a crazy amount of boughs settled down in that tilt. But that was the big unknown, is I'm there myself, so it was just my own body heating, my own breath heating up that space. And so then, so that was kind of an unknown, so then that's why I had the fireplace there for a backup. But like I said, I spent a few nights in igloo, no heat source. I think like with Anna, we had a candle or something, maybe with the wife too. But William, absolutely nothing. But so like that kind of experience helped me a lot and gave me confidence in using a shelter like this. That really, and well, even snare to grouse is an indigenous hunting skill that was handed down. What else? Like food, shelter, and some hunting techniques. I had to stop there for a second. Sorry, I got a bit of a dry cough. And as well, my grandmother, she used to make like juniper tea and stuff. So I drank juniper tea out there and ate juniper berries. And but yeah, mostly just food and shelter. I think that's, and even hunting techniques, I guess, a bit. So yeah, and it helped a lot. It really did. This is at the Drifting Spore. Hi, William. Just got back from 2 weeks up to St. Louis there. We had a great trip up to see the Weiss family. We have a tradition every time we're up to go on to the Red Roof shopping spree, and this trip was no exception. We got lots of big land gear to bring home to Nova Scotia for sure. We also got to spend a night in Cape Charles, which was really special, man. I know you didn't take a bow, and I understand, but why I haven't seen that you took a multi-tool either. My question is, did you take a multi-tool, and if not, why? Thanks, Bill. We're cheering for you from Nova Scotia, man. Thank you. Honestly, like, I'm kind of rough. I think if I had a little multi-tool, I'd probably have that broke apart. I wanted a really robust knife, full tang, really thick spine, something that could, really take a beating and still be kicking or something. But yeah, no, I just wanted a really tough knife, and I'm glad I took it, because sometimes, you see a grouse, you might want to make a snare pole and a fly, and you take your little knife and you're, because you don't want to be carrying an axe or anything like that. So no, I really glad I took the knife. I do it again. I do the same thing again. At Melissa Thursday, do you miss Sassy, and do you consider her a companion out there? Congratulations on the big win. I did. It was almost like a pet to me. I enjoyed seeing her. Like, it almost like lift your spirits when you see her. And I know she took a bit of food and too much at times, but I still enjoyed having her around. I really did. And so that's good for the mental as well. So Newfoundland Corey Purchase. Who and what did you miss the most? Love alone, and also your videos. When you're gonna miss your family. Your family, you know that when you go out, but more and more you're there and the more and more so, the more you realize, how important your family is. Family is everything, guys. Family is everything. What I'm going to answer one more, go in and get a bite to eat. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to take some Reddit questions. And yeah, I don't want this video to get too long. And so if there's anything, that I missed or whatever, because I got questions coming in all different locations, sites. And so if I miss anything, add them to this video, and let's see what I can do later. And this last one, just for now, is at Cindy H303. How did you stay warm all night with no fire in your tilt? I noticed both Dub and Timber struggled to keep their feet warm. Did you feel any ill effects from the cold at all? Are you part polar bear? That's good. All right. How do you stay warm all night with no fire in your tilt? Okay, so my tilt was really small, and like earlier, I had experience in the igloo. And so, but before I go in my tilt, because I had a big fire, big logs, and so I would warm up really good. Like, sometimes I zipper in the coat, like, just heat the body around like that, and then zipper up the coat, keep the heat in and stuff like that. And yeah, and dry, make sure everything out of my clothes was really dry and stuff like that. And then lots of times I would eat a little bit of birch bark after my normal meal, and then all that birch wood liquid, I would drink almost 2 quarts of liquid, then really warm liquid, and then I go in my tilt. And So, so my body's warm. I got this lot of hot liquid on my body. So when I get my sleeping bag warm up really nice, and it was really cold. Then I zip it up really good, and then after the sleeping bag heated up, it was perfect. And when my door closed, and my breath coming out would actually warm up the inside of the shelter rather quick. And actually, the only thing I had to change was like when it got really cold was okay. So you get the shelter warmed up. You're in the sleeping bag. Everything's really warm, and then you got to go pee. And so like normally I get out and I open the door, go on. I used to walk in these little ways because bears smell pee too. So I didn't want to pee too close to my shelter, and come back. One time you come back, your shelter is cooled down again, and so is your sleeping bag a little bit. And so you get down, you almost got to go through that like rewarming process again. And so then when it got really cold, the temperatures really started to drop. That's when Noel Willie's piss pot come in handy. So if I got peed and I pee in the pot, I open the door just enough to get that old pee pot out and had one little hole there, one I poured in that same spot all the time. And before med checks or anything, I kick a bit of snow over it. Like I like something nice and tidy looking as well, So I just one little pour hole, and then shelter wouldn't cool down too quick from doing that. So another little tip or two. I know some people peed in the shelters before, but I would never do that. That's no. All right, I'm going to answer some Reddit questions here now. I went down through a couple, but some of those already got answered. So Katie Pie 96, dude, you are insane. Congratulations. I'm so curious as to what gear you had on in that last month. It looked like you were just wearing some light outer wear compared to Dublin Timber. Are you a polar bear in disguise or something? P.S. Long live Sassy. Yes, long live Sassy. Really, I think the big difference for me was I'm not used to wearing a base layer, and I had this Helly Hansen base layer top and pants, and that kept me super warm. So it was extra layer that I wouldn't normally wear anyway. If I never had that, I probably would have had my winter parker and ski pants on earlier. And if I had all three on, I probably would have been sweating, to be honest. So, and you don't want that. So, yeah. So just where I'm not normally used to wearing a base layer, and I was wearing one, so I was warm. Like my pants and everything else, it was just normal stuff. Nothing extraordinary about it. It was just where I was wearing that base layer that I normally never wore before. Made a huge difference to me. Okay, I already answered a little bit of this, but still on the journey. First of all, big congrats, William. I love your spirit and creativity. I picked you as one to watch right away, and I'm so happy you won. You are a lone legend who joined the pantheon of the greats. Oh, thank you. Can you share more about your tilt, the location, the size, what you slipped on the fireplace, and why you didn't use it much? Reasons for your decision. Okay, I'll just stop there for now. Okay, the tilt. One important thing was I didn't want to have my tilt too low in elevation, too close to the creek. The cold air settles down into the lower elevation, right? And so I had mine like up just at the base of the hill along a ridge line, and I had my kitchen site down close to the creek, so it was close. I could cook and eat, and it wasn't too far from my hooks and my net and stuff. So, but when I get on my tilt and walk down, I'll be walking down, and then you almost run into, like, early in the morning, you run into this wall of cold air where it was settled down in a lower elevation. If your tilt was in that lower elevation, you would have it far worse. I was up high enough, I was clear of all that settled cold air. That made a huge difference. And I think, like, the bottom width base was about 6 foot. It was about 5 foot high, but I never had that much room inside because I had a lot of spruce boughs put in over the floor. I was like a big mattress, and that settled down. I had more settled down. I mean, there was a lot of boughs in there. The only time I stopped putting boughs in there is after the snow got on the trees. You want that barrier between the ground. You need to be protected from the bottom. So I had a lot of boughs, and then that's why I had my winter ski pants under my sleeping bag. I actually, we were allowed a scarf. I actually had one knitted, like the Labrador flag. I had that large across the boughs too. So that way, because, over time, you're going to get chafing. You don't want to damage your sleeping bag from the boughs itself. I mean, we're there a long time, so, it's going to take a lot of wear and tear. So I had stuff under me like that to protect the sleep bag on top, but that was also like a barrier from the cold from the bottom. And it was thicker out in front where my feet were too, and it kind of come back just because the ground wasn't level. But I had like a really big mattress of spruce boughs, and it smelled nice in there too. Yeah, the fireplace. You can see me making a fireplace in early episodes, just with rock and clay, with big rocks. I just haul them down from the bank. First, it was a bit smoky, but I got a vent and oven and dry pretty good. After the chimney heated up, everything worked pretty good then. And I think the overall length of my tilt was about 9 feet, but I only had about like 7 feet maybe, or no, even that, like just 6. My feet was almost to the door, but then back behind me, that's where I had all like a jam really full of wood. As tight as I could. Birch bark, and I got this dry cough, sorry. Congratulations from TEKNICSRX7. Hope that first coffee and cake was delicious. It certainly was. I'll tell you, I was there a couple of days before I was allowed to have a coffee, but I always have my coffee before I went out there, a bit of milk and 1 sugar. And then when we come back off the land, wouldn't allow no sugar in their coffee. So I stopped using sugar in my coffee there, and I never had sugar in my coffee since, and I don't miss it now. So, give it up for a while, and you'll have no trouble to get used to it. And then if you put sugar in it now, it just tastes don't taste too sweet altogether. So that's a good thing. This is not a question as such, but Jazzy Coleman. William, what a treat you were to watch. I've read many books on polar exploration and could have done it, and you could have done it with the best of them. Congratulations. I read a lot of books on polar exploration as well, Northern Pole, South Pole, and read a lot of books about explorers, get in starvation situations and what they had to do, to prevent scurvy and things like that. And, there's you'll learn a lot of great things by reading those books. And polar exploration, that's my favorite topic of reading. I still got a lot. Maybe someday I'll show you. I still got all my books kept. I haven't been reading them the last few years really, but I kept all the books that I did read on it, and they're great reading material, no doubt about it. Investigator Odd 2454. My question is, did you open your ice chest before you left? I already mentioned that, but yeah, I took the Marconi home, and the pike was left there for Sassy. You are my favorite contestant and alone ever. Thank you very much. Something tells me you would have stayed out there until the end of time to win. I wouldn't going to give up. No. See, this is the thing that happens too. A lot of people say that, and if I'd have went a bit further, I might have too. Not knowing, not thinking I would now, but your mind changes, right? When you get depleted more, or a bit more anyway, but probably I could have too. I don't know, but at that point in time, I was saying I wouldn't. It's funny how it all works, really. Yeah. Something I have noticed, anytime you did have a negative thought, you follow it. Yeah, that's a good, that's what I try to do. I always put a good spin on it, no matter what. Yeah. I'm missing my boy's birthday, but I'm going to make it up to him. And I tell you, when he watched the show and seen that, man, he was super proud and happy. Oh, man, I had it made up before that, but I mean, that was like super special. Yeah, and let's see here. Old iron, old cars. I think a bunch of us here were about to lose our minds with the food storage struggles in the beginning. Once you had the literal ice box, the storage issues were over, and it was pretty clear you'd be the winner, at least to me. No drama and massive skills. You were absolutely in your element. Very much enjoyed watching you thrive. It was funny to see contestants miserable each morning, and then it cut over to you with your cheeky good morning greeting. Happy and ready to start the day. I had a lot of different food caches out there. I just didn't put all my eggs in one basket kind of thing, just spread it around. But when I lost my beaver, that was really concerning. Yeah, because I actually had another little cache you never showed. when I leave the tilt, I had to get up to that beaver. I had to go up over a hill, juniper hill, and go down the other side a bit. A lot of hard walking where I was too. Like that took its toll on me after a while. A lot of rough terrain, ups and downs and stuff. It was hard on the legs. So kind of on top of the hill, just back a little bit, I had a small cache, like a 2 or 3 day food supply there at times. But then from there, I was able to see the beaver cache site. And so sometimes I go down, I took a little bit from the beaver cache site and put it in more like a day cache or whatever. So if I had to come, I was hoping when I go back to tilt, I was hoping I catch something else so I wouldn't have to go back up there. But if I had to go back up there, then I go to this closer one first. And then I'll be able to see the other one. But this, you're only seeing like less than 0.5% probably what we filmed. So, but total statement 126. Hi William, it was a pleasure watching you and Alone from New Zealand. Thank you. Right from the other side of the earth. I'm a huge fan of the show. Love your positive attitude and great skills you show. You are definitely one of the GOATs. Oh, thank you. Well done. I hope the winnings mean you can spend more time with your family. Actually leaving Monday morning, 3 days time. Going on just a small trip for now because school has started, but kids might want to get some, I don't know, whatever they want to get. New clothes or something or whatever they want. In a boomer, I will kick your ass in a game of darts. No, you won't. I have to have a 4 beer minimum before we get serious. Winner of Bulls calls the game. Oh yeah, back when William started growing up there, we always had a dart night every Wednesday night. It'd be a small community, everyone get together, play a few darts. We had a dart league, and yeah, it was great fun. And I got a dart board here, but I don't play much. But I don't take long to get back, back on your game. So maybe I should start firing scatter dirt at the board. And if we ever cross paths, you're gonna have your hands full, buddy. Get me off my line. Congratulations, I was rooting for you, but you cheated. You had Sassy for company, so you weren't really alone. That's very true. I had Sassy, and she was really good company, and that helps, believe it or not. Yes, I'm joking. I was really impressed by your attitude, and that's why I thought you would win. You were so positive and seemed to be enjoying yourself. I enjoyed every day out there. I really did. And every time I see Sassy, I perk up. I know I did because I didn't, I wanted to get around film and stuff. And there's more film over out there. Same AD8008. From just one more Canuck, a hearty congratulations. I believe you mentioned elsewhere that you were blessed to be able to call on your wife's Inuit culture and I got an Inuit background as well. My great-great-grandma was Inuit, and actually my great-great-grandma, her father's father, I would almost consider him a legend in the South Labrador coast. I heard a lot of stories, but he is like, if you think I'm tough, you should hear. Maybe I should tell the story sometimes. I mean, like, we're only pale in comparison. Like the stuff they done, getting seals and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't even think about it, and I'm pretty damn tough. And I think the wife was trying to call me. I gotta. That was the wife she called. She said, I'm going to be on the news soon. So I told her to tape it off with her camera and send it to me. Will you be expanding on that in upcoming videos? I already talked about that earlier. And also, did you bring to bear any unique Inuit skills you may have been exposed to down there in the lower east portion of Labrador? I not really, but there was something I kind of like to know the old Inuit way of catching a beaver. I was trying to research that before I left and just see so I might be able to use it. I did see some kind of traps and stuff, but because they trapped a lot of beaver and stuff. It'd be really interesting to see how they done that, back then. I was really interested in trying to learn that, but I was busy fishing at the time. Knowing I was trying to research to do a couple of little things, like and instead of making snares, I might have tried this for a little bit before, and then if I couldn't get that to work, well, then I use the snares, because I'm pretty confident I get one with snares. But that got me curious again now, so I'm gonna try to research that again. Caffeine_BOS. You were my pick from the very beginning. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you again. And very well deserved. And thank you again. Pure Labradorian spirit shine true. Here's a question. Did the subtitles on screen bother you at all? Did you find it funny or were you unfazed by it? I was unfazed by it. It didn't bother me at all, really, because I know sometimes it can be hard to understand. The part I had to laugh at sometimes that when I say something, they actually have, they still wouldn't have it wrote down right. The subtitles wouldn't write. There's one, what was it? Okay. Okay. This is what after I got it, the first pike I caught after it froze over. I was in having to boil up, eat my grouse, and I looked out and I seen the twig moving, and I ran over and hauled them up. And I come up on the screen subtitles, what a broom size. But I said, like, brute, big, brutin. I said, what a brutin size? They had it under, what a broom size. I actually never picked up on it. Wife picked up on that one because I didn't need the subtitles. I knew what I was saying anyway. And there was something else too. But that one really sticks out. Yeah, I know. But anyway, that was a good one. This one is two. Oh, God. This one is from 2_Fetums. If you could have 12 items, what would the extra 2 be? Any after 10 you choose, you regret it. Nope, I'm satisfied with all my picks. If I had to take 2 more, whew. It was a huge list to choose from. Read off a job, remember everything that was on there. The only way I take a bow, I would have to practice and be good at it. I just can't take a bow if I never bow hunted before, so that wouldn't be a good choice. But I'd probably, one of them would be, we were allowed some food item, a combo of rice, salt, and sugar. And a little treat for my bag down here. Here's Sassy. Yeah, what else would it be? Think real quick. Probably another food item because probably pemmican or something because bow for big game, but everything else I was able to harvest with what I had. So it didn't make no difference to me. And then, like, for cutting wood, if the saw broke and all that, I had the axe, I had redundancy. I had a multi-tool. A multi-tool and rice, salt, and sugar, because, a multi-tool for, would be come in real handy, yeah. A sewing kit, too, would be a good option. So, it's hard to say. I have to look at the full list again, but for the regards of the hunting and stuff, I had everything covered except for the big game with the bow, and I still can't see taking the bow if I'm not good at it. I'm a good hunter. I hunt a lot of big game. But it was always rifle and stuff. Yeah. Fassi. Question: were you able to definitely gender the pine marten, or was it a guess? I mentioned earlier it was a female. Sassy is a female, and Rhino Gago. RHINOAGOGO. I know I'm late, but about coming back, you seem really ready. Is your family okay with? Okay. I'm becoming. Also, you talked about learning archery. Is there any other skills you like to sharpen or learn? I think the family would be okay if something come up. I don't like to talk about it because it seems like if you talk about it, it don't happen. That's just so. I'm not gonna talk about it no more. But I really like to learn more about foraging. I believe I might have mentioned this somewhere along the lines out there, but never get shown. But you got to know your weaknesses. To know your weakness is a strength in itself. And my weakness, is my foraging skills. I could really improve on those. That would be something, and that is something I'm striving to learn more about. We all got strengths and weaknesses, so my strengths could be someone else's weakness, kind of thing. It's just the way it is. And congratulations, M. Stews, you win this book, Canadian Wilderness Survival. by Bruce Zawelski, and Bruce was a survival consultant for the show, and Dave was the lead survival consultant, and two, they make a great team. Two old army guys. I really enjoyed watching them get everything ready, during med checks and stuff like that. And this book was forwarded by Morris Klohansky, and Dave actually used to work with Morris, and anyone in the bushcraft world pretty much know Morris is a legend in the bushcraft world. And so Bruce gave me a copy, and he signed it. And so when I come back, I ordered a copy, and I said, I'm going to give one away. Now I put it away and waited for this. And, because when I was out there, I was reading, and some of the stuff there, like, something really caught my attention. When I was reading along, what was it? A minimum investment, maximum return. And when I started reading, thinking about, that's pretty much what I was doing out there. So I'm not going to say no more about it. In order to read up more and learn more about that, you'll have to get the book. And it's available on Amazon. But M-Stews, you got this one for free. Send me your info, and I'll get this in the mail as quick as I could. And we're leaving Monday morning for a little trip. And if I don't get it sent before then, I'll send it as soon as I get back. Okay? And I can't wait. Now another time I'll show you what Bruce wrote on mine. And it really means a lot because of who he is and his background and everything else. And I tell you, when I read it, it just made me feel real good. It really did. And thank you, Bruce. And so I'll put a link in the description for the book. And I'm telling you, if you know the info in this book, you're going to be well prepared for about anything that comes at you out in the wilderness. Yeah. Highly recommend it. And before I go, I really want to thank everyone that support me through buymeacoffee.com. And like I said before, I never ever feel obligated to buy one, but I just really appreciate when you do, and I really enjoy them, and I might share some with the wife too. Yeah, so I want to thank Ben Bremner for the coffee, Spencer and Colleen from Toronto, Josh and wife, Dan L, and someone also, they never left their name, and they were all congratulating me on winning a loan, so I really appreciate it. And James Dean, about 5 coffees, he said enjoy the coffee, for having to go so long without one. And actually, when I was filming for this, Jamie Goss bought me 3 coffees, and he just said enjoy the coffee and keep the videos coming, and I will certainly do that. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. And I guess that's it for this one, though. And so if you got any more questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And if there's enough there, I'll make another video. So, yeah, take care. All the best from the big land. They say.